was sketchy at times, but Aurora got the job done on their map pick. They find themselves in the ascendancy, headed to the map pick of Apeks. The pressure fully on them as they start their T side.
I mean, at the very least, as you saying, the Teacher's advantage here, they'll get the chance to dictate the pace on the T side as well. So on a puggy map like Mirage, it's definitely not as bad as starting off on that T side of Overpass. But let's say they've got utility, they're going straight into what looks like it's going to be an A execute, 2 smokes, likely for stairs and jungle, so they can push and take this CT fight. Exactly how it's going to be playing out. Back forward, we need that one player at Palace, but we get that kill. That's going to be a very difficult angle, as you can see now, to deal with, as they are pushed down by everyone on the Aurora side of things, and just obliterated. That was a very smooth pistol round. Despite the fact that really the counter in terms of the smokes and such going and the molly going down, they were all pretty much perfect. CacaNito didn't care, charges up through the fire, takes that kill in Palace, and then takes 2 more afterwards. But the first was by far the most important, because then the rest of the team just couldn't focus as they pushed out ramp.
Yeah, there was 1 point of failure there, wasn't there? And it was Lackey getting that kill and into Palace, and he pulled it off flawlessly. As you said, then draws the eyes of Apeks, allows for his teammates to make the rotations in, find their marks. And a very smooth pistol round. No damage, no casualties, no bomb plant. Exactly what this T side would have wanted, and you can see the response for the CTs would have wanted, and you can see the response from the Ts. There we go, I'm getting everyone confused.
Oh, good. It happens.
Look for the Palace pop here. It's Halloween, everyone's dressing up as something else. It's going to be mighty confused.
My brain swaps words like half of the time anyway, so just kind of hope no one notices, you know, like, oh, that's not what I meant to say, but we'll go with it.
Palace pop to come through here. There's one flashbang on kyxsan that will go over the top now. It's dodged by Kenzie, but he looks the wrong way, down towards the ramp. Fortunately for him, Celta is inside of the site, and, well, as much as he runs out of ammo, nobody else will, just mopping up the remaining kills. One man goes down, but realistically, that's not a bad result for Aurora whatsoever. They prevent the bomb plant from coming through, which turns this buy from Apeks from good to a little bit mediocre around the edges. Certainly not good enough to get the big green into the hands of nawwk. So it will be a 2-0 start. Relatively smooth sailing again. This is the first real test we're going to see for Aurora on their CT side Mirage.
Yeah, we know once the guns were out, it was very back and forth on Overpass, so I do think Apeks are still going to give us a good challenge here, but Aurora right now are looking to be in good form. I think that confidence is flowing after how things played out on Overpass. One player at the top right of mid has been spotted. I was going to say, Lackey should be able to fall away. Didn't want to.
Takes the fight to underpass instead. Gets one. Now he's down to the pistol, though. Out of ammo. Jacob will be able to trade it. That's guilty of just being a little bit too keen there. Kenzie takes a lot of Molotov damage as well, trying to get that smoke out. Drops down to 33. Won't quite catch the timing on a retreating T-side player either. So it starts to get a little sketchy now with 2 players out towards A. Norby cuts a very lonely figure. Was the star of the show, of course, on Overpass, so perhaps just hoping that he can do that once more as the smoke goes in, keeps Kenzie busy in mid. And I mean, this is going to be a 1v3 for Norby to try and get something going. Just tucks himself away, and Kenzie has managed to rotate. Spots one. That timing could not have been better, and I don't think Apeks necessarily realised yet. Now the noise is made, but Norby has 1 for free. Limited bullets left in that M4A1. Has to stay alive. Has to buy time, and does just that too. Looks for the reload as nawwk looks to drop on down. Will find the conversion. Buys his team that 2-on-2 once again, but all this time that Norby has managed to waste has bought more room for Latic. On a backstabbing mission, Celta knows he's just got to keep the crosshairs away, but Latic whiffs his shot, and that'll allow CacaNito to punish. Now into the 1v1. Celta at least able to trade the first of his teammates' mistakes and the second. Latic bailed out a dodge there by a lovely little play from Celta. Should have been a freebie. The timing's just not quite there, and the headshot not quite connecting. It's good damage for Apeks, but as first rifle rounds go, they would have wanted a lot more.
Yeah, it was a great fight back into it there from Aurora. As you said, though, Apeks going to be kicking themselves. They weren't able to get that over the finish line. Had a tough time really pushing in towards B. Found, as you said, 2 players already in position. Ended up losing a couple to the player close short. Get the trades and look like they might just have the round in their hands, only for Celta to steal it back away. to allow for the 3-0 start here for Aurora, already up by a map as well for anyone who may just be joining us. Again, heavy towards the A play for Apeks. This has been a go-to already twice within these first 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's another pop. This time they are a little less occupied on that A site, the CTs of Aurora, so there is a possibility here as Kenzie's going to go prod the underpass. The smoke's coming over the top, should give the game away. Celta knows, just got to stay alive, chip away. Playing the timing game, though. Apeks hoping that perhaps these smokes will be second-guessed as a fake, as there comes the flash over the top. Kenzie playing ahead of them, manages to get one despite being half-blind. Celta, a lot of chip damage, but Kenzie just continues to tear away at these remaining T-side players. A third from his AK-47. He gets the USP out for one more, and Kenzie is going to have his ace whether you like it or not. 2 from the pistol, 3 from the rifle. Beautifully controlled and orchestrated there by the CT side. Matic, the only one to take anything significant in terms of damage. He'll get his big green dropped across anyway. It's 4-0 as the rifles come out again for Apeks.
Yeah, I just really like what we're seeing from Aurora throughout this series. A good mixture of just making sure that they play things intelligently and also have some individuals on form, as you can see. Kenzie's playing a really good series so far. We know Norvi and nawwk can put in some great performances as well. I haven't seen much personally from Celta and Latic, so that's the only real reason I haven't mentioned them. I think this might be the first time I've covered either of them while casting, to be honest. Jacob, though, he's going to find a fight in under. That's nawwk, one of the aforementioned names who I said we expect to be popping off. And, well, he has the chance to do so in under. Unfortunately, the backup is there for Jacob. 1 kill at least being found. The trade, though, comes in. It's a 1-for-1. It's a decent position for Apeks to be in, all things considered. They can work towards that mid-control now if they want.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that call from nawwk. Feels like a very one-and-done position.
Yeah.
Can't really expect much more than that. Without any support, it's a free trade. It buys the 4-on-4 for Apeks with a minute left on the clock. You can see this CT side now having to be so conscious of mid-control. Pop the smoke, but kyxsan is very ready for it. nawwk goes down. And the man advantage is found. This A-split is looking to take place. Bomb on the ramp, but Celta's managed to pick one off, using that scoped AUG to good effect. Gets caught by Sense on the retreat. The critical kill goes the way of this T-side, and now with CacaNito in towards the connector, Latic has got to be so careful on his rotation, and I don't think he's quite aware. He's thinking about it. Scoped up on the angle, but CacaNito just tucks tail. Stays as quiet as he can. No visibility given over. Kenzie only just now starting to work his way in. Latic swaps it out for the M4 to try and give himself a little more opportunity. But he realistically needs Kenzie to go big here, and nawwk, well, he deals with his teammates, so Kenzie left alone. CacaNito still in towards that connector, still the unknown, and then he looks to strike. Apeks with their first round of the T side, and it's a good one to get as well. All that damage they've been doing on the rifle buys has finally paid off. Aurora with 1900 loss bonus have got some very difficult decisions to make.
Kenzie and Latic are actually both on a double eco, so I'd imagine that they'll probably force this. You can get 3 M4s. Obviously, it'd be M4A ones with body armor in the case of nawwk and Norvi. But it's not terrible. I mean, you can get a kit in there, a couple deagles. It's not the worst position they could be in. Unfortunately, Kenzie is one of those deagle players, and he's been having a great performance. I would like if he had a rifle in his hands. They still have a good chance here of potentially making something work. I think in that 2-on-1 there as well, and 3-on-1 rather, as he sprayed down the player that was around bench, he done some damage on the CacaNito as well through the smoke. Just had no idea he was actually there. Got to focus back on this round though for the moment, as it's an A push once again coming through. Definitely the favourite site so far for Apeks. You can see why, at least in this round right now, they've had a fairly easy time overrunning the bomb site itself. That deep smoke and connector making things very difficult for anyone on Aurora to challenge. As the only kill coming through so
Jacob
far,
there?
I was going to say, was of small consequence. Yeah, what is Jacob doing in window with the bomb watching the short push?
He's almost baited the CT side back into it. They looked ready for the save, and then they've managed to take out Jacob.
Held though.
The bomb has been recovered, as you said, not really held. I don't think anyone on this CT side had the health to be holding anything. nawwk on 2, Celta and nawwk not too much better, so at this point with that bomb going down, this one should be a done deal. They're still giving it a bit of a sniff though. nawwk The long flank through Palace, but the timing not quite good for him. kyxsan manages to take the ramp in response. So as he starts to work his way out, he's going to wonder where these T-side players are. And there's actually two of them down towards the ramp. Sense gets one from the stairs, and that should be job done. I think at this point, the only way Lackey's getting anything out of this one is a ninja, and he's thinking about it. Oh my goodness, he's thinking about it. He's got the kit as well. 5 seconds is all he needs, and it's not planted for any of these T-side players. He's 2 HP. Anything will do it, and the nade saves Apeks their blushes. nawwk goes down for it. But that was so nearly something a little bit mad from Lackey. That new bomb radius, it's forcing T-side players to evacuate earlier, and he very nearly got away with it.
Yeah, this is rough now. They do have to finally take that eco. No pistols really can be afforded around that 1M4 either, so not expecting a ton here from Aurora. Apeks have a chance to take a smoother round for themselves and not to drop anyone, build up that economy, and ensure that they're going to be able to keep on scrapping really for the rest of this T side. Grind out as many rounds as they can. Keeping it simple though here in this round, knowing that they're not going to be up against a lot. They don't want to go heavy towards A, as they have been quite a few of these rounds so far. Instead, it's standard mid control coming in. Norby's in a position where he hopes to be able to maybe do something about mid, perhaps get a kill if they come over towards A as well, since he is that single rifle. No one else even has a P250 to their name.
I don't mind it. Some nice ideas, right? Cheeky boost behind the triple boxes. Basically, just as you said, let's get Norway into a position to potentially have impact and maybe hope that, you know, a couple of these cheeky things we're pulling off with the pistols might find some kind of purchase. Norway is going to go for a little bit of a swing here, and well, kyxsan wasn't really expecting a man that close to be able to find his mark. Sense, though, immediately there with the trade, and now these pistols should start to fall apart. Celta, though, does manage to get one onto Sense, and that's a rifle recoverable. The problem is, Lackey, with only a USP, I mean, he does very well to get a dink, quite frankly, but CacaNito, yeah, the superior firepower will get the job done. Celta then deals with the man holding Murder Hole. That's another rifle to be grabbed. And suddenly, this is a 2-on-3. Both players dinked, nawwk spectacularly so. And a couple of AK-47s to boot. I mean, for CacaNito and nawwk, they've got to hold these angles for all they're worth here. The only saving grace they have is there's no kits. And there's no utility either, so it's gunfights all the way. A single HE would have done the job, but instead, it's got to be the rifles. Kenzie gets one. There's the trade from CacaNito. He's up in the apartments. He gets the second, but not the third, and that's not going to be enough. It's going to be right down to the wire here. That bomb just started its secondary tick sound as the Kenzie got on the defuse, but he's got it. It's a 5th round out of absolutely nothing for Aurora, and it's not even the rifles that get it done. It's the USP dinks left, right, and center that find their mark.
Crazy. I mean, that just goes back to how things were on Overpass, right? It looks like Aurora are down and out, and then they pull out something crazy like that with so little in to actually work with. It almost seems like Apeks kind of get a little bit too lax in that situation. They're definitely kicking themselves, immediately calling in this pause to have a chat about what went wrong, what they're going to do now to hopefully turn things around, with the economy just barely being there for the buy. Jacob's going to be lacking a little bit, probably on a Galil. Everyone else, though, should be fine, as they hope to, once again, flip the script, see if they can come out swinging, break that economy down again for Aurora, because that's the one thing they will have the chance to do, with the loss bonus obviously being nil for that CT side. Well, 1400, you know what I mean. 0 out of 5 levels. They're right down at the bottom with only 1400 if they are to lose this one, which, considering two of the players have nothing, one has $50 and one has 300, they would not be looking at anything more than some pistols and body armor, which would give Apeks a chance to turn this half around, potentially even into a 5-5 scoreline. So there's still a lot on the line.
Still plenty to play for, but Aurora, that's such a big round to swing. Full buy into this. As you said, it's sketchy. They don't have a lot of money left in the bank, but Latik's got an AWP in his hands. Kenzie this time fancies the aggression into the underpass. Nothing forthcoming though, so a flashbang to get him out of dodge, and that's exactly what he does. Apeks this time very passive in their initial intentions. Barely probing anywhere. Expecting perhaps that there is going to be some aggression, some proactivity in this new world of Pika's advantage, and well, Kenzie is thinking about it. posted himself up towards top of middle. Jacob only now starting to really test the waters, and Kenzie is very ready for it. A swift headshot, a nade to follow up that does huge damage onto kyxsan. Half HP, and he's not seen a CT player yet. The man advantage is found. Can they hold on to it? Pop flash to get one man out. nawwk gets the better of Lackey, not quite able to finish his food onto kyxsan despite the initial damage. And from here, the T-side will look to accelerate. kyxsan already through the window. nawwk has no idea what's coming for him. A freebie that splits the defense completely and utterly as nawwk grabs another. Kenzie goes down, and this one is going from bad to worse. nawwk, a one-man wrecking ball, all 3 critical kills. And well, Celta, what can you do? As you said, Dean, this is the round that breaks the CT economy, and Apeks have played it to a T.
Yeah, leaving Celta just to save an AUG, which is really not going to do a lot for them in this next round, where they'll have absolutely nothing else. Kill confirmed to try and get away, but he is being hunted, and yeah, in the end, no weapons are going to be carried forward. 3 left standing as well for Apeks, which is what they needed to ensure that they're not going to be lacking here in this round as they look to overcome again the weaker buy. And hopefully this time around won't let it slip. But they have finally started to crack their way through that impenetrable defense, and hopefully with that can build a decent T-side to work with. Again, though, the force buy as we expected from Aurora, having no loss bonus and having absolutely no money in the reserve. You have some Deagles, 5.7s, and well, 1 AUG actually on Latic that they were able to pull out. So they do have a rifle again. Latic, though, hasn't done anything crazy I can remember throughout this series. He's definitely been one of the quieter members there for Aurora. And what has been an overall pretty exciting team to look at. nawwk and kyxsan already with kills on B. There's a 3rd player here, but I don't think nawwk can really do much as he gets pushed down and loses his head in towards that van. No damage even dealt. Pistols and Kevlar on the 2 remaining players. I mean, it could even be worthwhile just backing away and trying to have something to work with in this next round.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow. They had the right idea, tried to put the right pieces in place, but quite frankly, Apeks just more up for the fights. 5-4. CT economy, as you said, just in no man's land. Lackey and Celta considering the save. Celta certainly so. He's all the way out on A. He's having nothing to do with it. Lackey is going to get hunted down, though, here. Found by kyxsan, which leaves Celta very vulnerable. 4th round on the board for Apeks, and a solid little recovery. Considering how powerful some of those early rifle rounds looked. Full eco to follow for the CT side, so an opportunity to level things out at 5 apiece, and we're going to end up with a very close first half of this second map as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were neck and neck on Overpass up until the half-time. It was the second half where things kind of took off a little bit for Aurora. It was on the CT side, though, I believe, where they started kind of finding the more success. So we may have expected something similar here on Mirage. Unfortunately, right now, Apeks are putting in a pretty good T-side for themselves. And it's all pistols for the moment as well on the side of Aurora. Only a single 5.7, of course, that was carried through. Even then, Apeks don't want to do anything crazy.
We've seen these pistols do work before. I think they're aware of that here, just playing this one very measured. The utility's good. Norway mollied off his first angle of choice. Celta's 5.7, though. It's just that little bit better. Early pick onto kyxsan. Lackey catches a timing as well. Out top mid. CacaNito at least there for the trade, but the man advantage remains. nawwk finally puts that to bed and buys them a 3-on-3. Now with no rifles really in recoverable positions either, it becomes a question of timings and mind games. The bomb has evacuated this A site entirely, and for now the CTs don't quite realise what's coming. Nice peek from the USP, but Latic, it's only a dink. It's not quite the conversion they needed. So now Kenzie and Norway left to pick up the scraps. Kenzie has at least managed to salvage himself an AUG here. And oh my goodness, through the smoke, he's desperately close to finding nawwk. 16 HP left on the AWP. Norway will look to recover another rifle up towards short here, as his teammate just keeps them busy. CacaNito is the snake in the grass once again, however, out towards connector, gets the critical kill onto Kenzie, which should mean that this round is a goner. Norway, for now, has an AK-47, but he's spotted out by CacaNito and dealt with. So the initial damage, it's significant. A couple of big kills go against them, but this time, Apeks find a way to muddle on through and draw things out at 5-all.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this series, we mentioned that it would likely be on 3 maps that could pose a strong performance really from both teams. We knew that with the initial bans being taken out of, I'm forgetting now, I believe it was Vertigo and the other ban was Nuke. Yeah, they're the insta bans. We knew that wherever it ended up, really, both of these teams would have a good chance. It depended on who would be in form, really, in the moment. And, well, that moment has constantly changed back and forth as both teams have had their opportunities. Decent trades from the T side, despite heavy aggression in both Palace and Ramp. Somehow Apeks actually managed to end up in a 3-on-3 with the mid control, importantly, in their favor as well.
That's what's going to turn this one. CT side split between the two sites and very difficult for them to find a way to thread the needle between them. You can see Celta, aware of that possibility, just starting to check out CT. And Apeks playing this smart. They just cut all noise, force the CTs to make a play for information. Lackey swings a little too wide. He gets his head taken off. And at this point, it's a gamble for the CTs. Norway going to be joined by Celta over on this B bomb site. If they hit B, great, we'll give it a go. If they don't, right, we're on the save. With the bomb nestled at the bottom of the A ramp, I imagine there's only one way this one's going.
I mean, it's got to be just pretty easy to walk this onto A now any moment. CacaNito is still just kind of chilling, even though his teammates have started clearing things out. Miles behind. I think they were probably expecting a long flank through the spawn since they just hadn't seen anyone around A, and they didn't seem to be rotating through CT or in through mid because they were just rotating so late in general. Only now does Celta get caught coming out of kitchen, and as you can see with that, Norvi decides, yeah, I'm not really going to be looking for this fight anymore. He's going to back away, save the M4. But it's 6 on the board for Apeks, a good shot at a 7th as well, as this M4 is going to be put towards a buy here that'll be scraped together otherwise.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised Celta went for that at all, to be honest with you. Yeah. Felt like as soon as he was over towards that B bomb site, the only logical call was to try the save, right?
They'd left us so long to start rotating as well. They'd taken the gamble that it was maybe going to come back B. I thought that was because of the fact that they knew saving the M4s, or the rifles rather, would be so important.
Could be a decision that comes back to bite them in the long run. You look across that economy, some big decisions to be made coming into the last round of this first half. Norway saving allows the drop to at least 1. If Celta had done the same, then there's a second, and suddenly you've got, you know, a 4 rifle buy, and it's not looking so bad. Instead, FAMAS in the hands of Celta. 2 rifles for Latic and Norway. Kenzie gets his hands on an MP9, Lackey the same, so it's not pretty. What will the CTs look to do with a little less firepower? They're going to look to press the issue. Early flashbangs, early HEs. They want to take this fight top mid again, but a little jump is awkward for Kenzie. CacaNito there for the trade. There's more bodies ready and waiting to take up the fight, however. Celta and Kenzie combining beautifully, and if they push just a little further, they find the bomb, but how far do they want to go? Celta's thinking about it. Sense has made his way out, and I think they're just starting to realize. I think perhaps Celta has just seen, indeed he has, Molotov goes towards TV. He's just realized that that bomb is out towards top of mid. Sense will get 1. Lackey should and does have the trade. So the man advantage is there, and the bomb is in the grasp of the CT side. This is a fantastic position for Aurora.
Yeah. It's a solid position, I've got to say, as you said, with this flank and controlling the bomb, but the health on 2 of the players doesn't look so great. If Apeks move together, they could still get this done, but will they expect Lackey's position? No, he should have the drop on at least 1 player. kyxsan goes down, and it's only Knock left up in the apartments now, who has to deal with 2 of them as he comes out from this choke point somehow.
Should be done. Should be job done. It's up for miracle time for nawwk to get anything done. Kenzie playing an off angle, though. nawwk, nothing to do. 6-all, another incredibly tight contest as we head to the halftime. Well, nothing can separate these teams again as we head to the second half of Mirage. Both looking absolutely fantastic, and statistically these two teams are very, very similar in their CTT split, so this one could well go down to the wire. Relatively passive start for the T side of Aurora. There's aggression though from Apeks. CacaNito with those dual Berettas looking to press the issue through the underpass, and he's got Kenzie for free. Nobody there to respond to it. CacaNito will be allowed to exit if he wants to freely out of top mid. Flashbang to get him out of dodge. And that's a perfect start for Apeks.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a super one-sided CT pistol from Aurora as well. Apeks will be looking to put in a similar affair. He saw the arm, couldn't quite get the vision to take the shot, didn't want to give his position away. Will realize that obviously he's run back in the direction of A at this point, so that should give them confirmation. And yeah, they're completely abandoned B and starting to rotate over. So the correct call has been made, and it should be a free kill. The dual Berettas just about get it done. They actually dropped the bomb. It'll be recovered at the very least in the smoke, but they're separated out all three of these T players that remain right now. And well, despite that one kill back from nawwk, they're still going to have a tough time making this work.
It's all on Norway. If he can get this kill out towards the B site, but it's an ugly old fight, and Jacob's just straight up got more bullets. P250 now looking to charge in, but there's just players all over the shop. kyxsan gets the kill, but it's a team effort from Apeks, and well, nawwk on a recovered set of Julies, a 1v4 to contend with. And nothing doing. nawwk takes the head clean off. Not quite as clean as Aurora's CT pistol, but not too bad either way. Apeks finally getting themselves a pistol on the board as well. 1 and 4 so far in this matchup. Could that be the catalyst they need to get this one going? No bomb plant for Aurora, of course, so a very ugly situation for them coming into round 2 of this second half.
Yeah, they're actually just going to go straight in for the force.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. It's always risky though. I mean, it could work considering they've already been winning out a lot of these weaker rounds as well. You're going to find maybe some SMGs and such over on the CT side, and not as many nades as they'd have going into the first gun round. So, especially with Tech9s, go for these quicker plays as they are looking to over towards B. But if this doesn't go their way, Apeks will have a great chance to build up this CT side early on. So these pistols need to find success. It's Sense left on the bomb site rather. He's had a rough time so far. Gets one at least before going down, but the pistols again are beginning to overwhelm the rifles. Jacob has to try and pull off a miracle, and he's making it happen. Catches Kenzie in the front with the spray transfer, just as Selter now is left alone to try and pull off a 1-on-2. At the very least, gets the bomb plant, but that's all he's allowed. It looked like for a while that Aurora had a real chance in stealing that round away, but Jacob is the one who turned it around.
Oh, Jacob, you lucky, lucky boy. That FAMAS spray not connecting on the man it intended to. Instead, a second body swings close, and the last few bullets just melt him. Feeling a little fortunate to get away with that one. I think Apeks very nearly overrun on the B site by the force buy. And with the bomb plant going down and the kills they got, it's not a bad look for Aurora coming into this third one. 2 AKs, 3 Galils, a decent little belt of utility to try and work with. That extra bomb plant, you could see Selter thinking about going for the gunfights and instead looking to prioritize getting that bomb planted. The extra cash across the board just so much more valuable, as now the CT's pressing the issue up mid. They're just not letting Aurora settle into this second half. nawwk caught out for free. Again, no response, and this time the HE down the ramp does huge work. CacaNito continuing to wreak havoc. All 3 kills to start this one off, on the T side just in shambles. Aurora nowhere near the pace right now. CacaNito adds another to his tally. 20 kills so far this game. And Selter, well, he was left in a 1v2 last round. This time it's a 1v5. And the rifles do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no chance Selter gets anything done here, so yeah, they're going to be on an eco with some pistols maybe in the next, and then likely it's 10-6 for Apeks as they're starting to kind of run away with this here now on the CT side of Mirage. You can see why this is their map choice. Still expected Aurora to put up a good fight though, as they did on the first half. Fortunately, if they just never really get their feet firmly on the ground here to kick off their T side, then it could be over before they really know anything. I realized that using the first of their 3 pauses actually. Hadn't called one in up until this point. Despite the back and forth, I think we did see Apeks call in a tactical.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it's starting to slip that way, doesn't it? Aurora not being allowed to settle into things. Not being given the opportunities. Apeks just permanently keeping them a little off kilter. Half buy into this one though, and we've seen it from Aurora. What these kind of half buy situations are capable of. 4 Deagles, plenty of one tap potential across the board. Question is, where do you look to go with it? CacaNito right now absolutely flying for Apeks. If you can avoid him, do it. No text this time, so not expecting something quite so swift in its execution. Instead, it's going to be 3 out towards mid. A nice idea, the triple nade stack towards Con. I don't mind it. Trying something a little different, but Jacob occupies the position. There we go. A little too late for the HEs to really have impact, and now it is on to those individuals. Kenzie looking to wander into the crosshair. Nork not able to hit the flick. So you'll get another bite of the cherry here. Looking for the wall bang as well. Takes more damage though, and not quite dishing it out. Kenzie, I think, just hoping to keep the rotations honest there more than anything else. The HE's continuing to chip away at what is left of this T-side half-buy. Lackey down to 24 on the spray down. Norway now out in no man's land. Should be a free find. Sense, kyxsan and Jacob. Yep. Making it look all too easy. Lackey K rather the next to fall as Kenzie. Well, he's hoping that maybe all that brawling in mid drew them away from this A site and he can go for a bomb plant, but instead it's a clean sweep. Double digits on the board for Apeks. 3 away from forcing us to map 3. And quite frankly, Aurora haven't really registered on the radar on this T side.
Yeah, calling in another pause now before they go into an actual gun round. Now that they have something to back it up. I mean, you expect Apeks to always be able to put up a fight. I didn't think it was going to be an easy time at all for Aurora. Those first 3 rounds were kind of a bit of an odd one. With players like Jacob and nawwk, you know a team like Apeks is always going to have fresh ideas, and you really don't need those ideas to be all that great when you have someone like CacaNito popping off and going 21-9.
Yeah.
It just needs to be basic enough that you're doing something together so that he can pop heads and you get things done. And obviously on the CT side now, they're feeling a lot more comfortable after just kind of scrapping their way through that entire T side, and in the end coming out with something that was a solid half despite things looking down for a while. So yeah, I think since the CT side kicked off, they've just been feeling the confidence, and right now are on track to potentially put an end to this half without much resistance if this gun round goes their way. So let's see. Take control looks to be the goal for Aurora, keeping it standard enough. Probably have a player go through under. nawwk didn't spot anyone and isn't really able to keep on looking, of course, with that smoke down in window. Aurora are playing really passive though. I think they're expecting mid aggression.
They've seen it before. And they've seen the consequences, so wary in the opening moments. It's costing them a lot of the util they brought into this round though. Kenzie the first to take a fight, and Jacob just can't quite spot him. The smoke favours the T side. First time in a while they've had the man advantage uncontested early. nawwk forced back deep on the AWP, but he's up for the fight. Kenzie, perhaps a little too keen to clear that corner out, goes down. Levels things out, and look at this response. CacaNito wants the fight. Lackey has tucked himself up on these bricks. It's a slight off angle. Timing could be everything, and Lackey will get the better of it. Molly again towards short will keep the rotations honest, and for now, kyxsan is solo on this site, gets himself the first. He knows they're going to be pressing him from absolutely everywhere here, and Lackey is able to find the trade. It's all on these 2 rotations now. Lackey, he is low towards the murder hole, but it's called the murder hole for a reason. Very easy to find the kill, and this one will be going the way of Aurora. A first response on their T side. The buying will be able to come through again for Apeks, but I think nawwk hoping maybe to just take a little more away from this T side before he looks to save that big green. Not to be, and they may well look to hunt this one down. Lackey through the corner of the smoke is spotted and dealt with though, and at this point with the limited money, nawwk is not going to go looking for it. And I'm not sure Celta should either, if I'm being very honest with you. He needs to keep his hands on that AK-47. They need to start thinking long-term about building this comeback.
Yeah, it's a start, but it's still a slow one. They have a long ways to go before I'd imagine they feel like things have stabilized. It's especially with only a couple players surviving here, and most of their money goes right back into this reinvestment, and they're still on the brink of potentially being broken down by Apeks, even with the 2,900 loss bonus. Be a couple players who wouldn't be able to quite afford. So, yeah, this needs to be a damn near flawless T side from Aurora if they want this comeback to happen. Again, quick for the mid control, this time actually pushing straight out, and well, Celter also pushing out through ramp, catches that player on the A off angle. The problem is the mid players have not found the same level of success, and it's actually the bomb right now alone that's being pushed down. So they've been forced to send nawwk back around, so he cannot back up his teammate on that A bomb site itself. So Celter for now just left sitting on Tetris, and well, he's feeling out of place, no pun intended.
Yeah, it's that initial mid control. Just didn't quite go according to the playbook. From there, things really started to go downhill. Celter, now an isolated island, does very well to deal with Jacob's proactivity. The bomb is still stuck in mid, though. Kenzie is still determined to get something out of this mid fight. nawwk is looking to join him from underpass. And they know Celter's somewhere, but he's actually retreated out of A entirely and started to press the issue instead through Palace. Apeks, I think, not quite sure what's coming for them at the moment. They've rotated heavily onto the B site based on just the lack of anything they've heard over on A, and they're going to be proactive with it. nawwk on the angle. The only defense of this A site, and he does well. Grabs one onto Celter. His position's now known, but look at the flanks starting to come in from this CT side. One from short, one pushing all the way through B. The bomb, though, is on the back of Kenzie, and they can thread the needle here. This timing could be everything. nawwk's going to go down for free. There will be presence on this B site, though. That free kill has given the clue to kyxsan about what's coming. He's got no support. CacaNito still thinks and still believes it might well be A, but kyxsan has got one. He's bought himself the 1-on-2. Kenzie fakes the plant. kyxsan doesn't buy it. Kenzie fakes it again. kyxsan looks to press the issue, goes down. He's bought some time, and he's bought enough. The clock goes red. And courtesy of that pesky old-timer, it will be Apeks who get their 11th. Played by perfection by kyxsan on the short pillar. And Aurora left ruining missed opportunities again.
Oh, that's going to be the worst way to lose out the round as well. 1-on-1 just because of the clock in the end. Such a crucial round. At the very least, they got to keep a weapon in play, which has allowed for them to salvage together a decent enough investment. But this is their last chance. If they lose this, they have even less to work with in this next round. At the very least, the full loss bonus is there, but without a bomb plant, that wouldn't do 4 of the players really any good. So, it's do or die for Aurora. nawwk up close on the op, ready for the no-scope. He lands it. nawwk expecting a little gap there maybe to play around with the smoke, just to probe onto that B bomb site. Didn't expect the op to be so damn aggressive. The Celter gets one. kyxsan takes a ton of damage in towards the CT spawn as well, but it's Kenzie for the moment probing alone on this A bomb site. The bomb's still miles away. There's no backup yet, but he's getting it done. Catches kyxsan pushing out through that CT smoke, and what may have been an unnecessary play that could have given Aurora now an opening back into this round.
Yeah, the problem is, look at the rotations. Everyone's already here for the CT side. A missed spray gives Sense an opportunity. CacaNito's there to back his man up, and this one is going from bad to worse. nawwk with bomb on his back is now stuck and being hounded on that A ramp, and as much as nawwk hits the miracle, nawwk is there for the trade. It's a 1v2 for nawwk, who has not had a good game. 3-15. CT smell a rat as well. They start to realise there's no presence out on this A site. Of course, they can just play this one together. 2 kits, good utility. Flashbang to get them into the angle. Can just let this bomb go down, knowing they've got a nice buffer of 4 rounds. Knowing that T-side economy is on a cliff, and nawwk doesn't trust it. 20 seconds. Taps it once. We'll get it down now. nawwk already rotating in through short as the bomb is planted. What does nawwk look to do? How do you look to play this? He wants to get into the apps, but he's spotted and dispatched off. 12 on the board for Apeks. Aurora just not registering on this T side. They've not been close. And at this point, they're 1 round away from being forced to Ancient.
Yeah, looking like it is going to be a necessity to close out the series. 5 in a row for an overtime. I mean, it's doable. They could at least pull back a few rounds, maybe get something going before heading on to Ancient, because they have been missing for this entire second half here of Mirage. Even the round that they took didn't really seem too promising. They've needed massive individual plays and a little bit of luck, as you normally do in this game as well. Mid control though for the CT side, as they drop a player towards under, molly towards the top boxes, and just ensure that Aurora aren't going to be able to push out and get that control themselves early on. Looks like it's going to be an A fake into the B hit eventually.
Doesn't seem like the worst idea in the world. 3 players of the CT side over towards this A site. Problem is, there is only 2 Ts looking to make their way out towards B, and Sense on that shoulder peak. He's got a lot of information for his teammate. Sense on the spray down, though, caught off guard, and Kenzie getting one over towards A has actually drawn CacaNito's eyes the other way. nawwk out towards the vans. Shots from CacaNito give his position away, punished by it. Celta is still out on A, and he's still keeping nawwk and kyxsan very honest as Aurora. Well, you said it, Dean. They want to try and get some confidence back. They want to start building back into this one. This is the way to do it. Celta on a bit of a tear. kyxsan will finally put him down. And kyxsan now, position known, AWP in hand, will surely be hounded. kyxsan, though, is up for the task on the first. That will be it. 8 on the board for Aurora. 4 more needed, though, to force the OT, and it's a long way away right now.
Yeah, I mean, proportionally, back in the day, we would have looked at 4 rounds as not too bad. Now it's like, you're like, damn, that's nearly a third of the game, bro. Either way, a pause seems like a good time for it to come in for Apeks. Give them a bit of a chance to chat, see exactly what they want to do, as the up is already bought up for nawwk, so that means they're going to be buying, considering they have 3 on the double eco. So if they lose this one, suddenly it's 12-10, because they would be eco in the next round, and at that point, they have 1 more real gun round. So, yeah, this is very doable, honestly, for Aurora.
Problem is the consistency.
Too loud. My window's fully closed. There's just nothing I can do about that.
Classic Halloween. The problem is the consistency, though, isn't it, for Aurora, right? We've got 2 isolated T-side rounds so far. They've not proven that they can string anything of consistency together. And these pistols, we've seen more than once how pesky they can be. The new sub-tick accuracy just makes them feel that little more lethal. Up in the hands of nawwk, as you said. Sense gets a 4A1. 2 deagles and a 5-7 as well. Aurora setting up for the AXEC. Kenzie just posted towards top of middle. Hoping to catch if there is any over-aggression. They're watching the ramp as well. I think Aurora, it's a nice read on the situation. They know this buy isn't going to be great. There's probably going to be aggression somewhere. As that flash comes in from Jacob, there it is. He stays close on the 5-7, wants to take this fight. The first batch of smokes, just a lure from the T side, hoping to pull that fight away. Nothing given, though. And only 2 more smokes remain as they look to double pump this one. Stairs and jungle, flashes over the top. Molly to try and force out the under palace player, but instead Jacob stays close. The HE is huge, and Jacob takes full advantage. Traded 1 for 1 at the very least, but there's still presence inside of this site, and there's still Sense out towards top stairs on that M4A1. Finally, nawwk deals with the triple player, but CacaNito has found the top mid hold, and he's bought them a 3-on-3 with 3 rifles on the board here. This is a pretty damn good retake. The HEs are good, but nawwk is a little bit better. Finally shows up to the server. 2 quick flicks, and CacaNito will be put down by nawwk. Aurora are not going to go quietly.
No, not at all. Starting to light up once again in these last few rounds, it seems. And as we mentioned before, now it's a full eco for Apeks. So they have absolutely nothing here. Even with this full eco coming in, their buy in the next round is not going to be all that great, honestly. They'll get the rifles, they get the basics in utilities, but other than that, there is still going to be likely some weaknesses to the investment. And well, for this round, all they have is USPs. So again, Aurora should have an easier time in this round. I say should. Because the Pistols have had their moments throughout this series already.
Question is, what cheekiness do Apeks look to pull? It's a heavy B stack as the mid control is taken. Kenzie Just working his way through the angles, diligent as always. I like this backside stack, though, from Apeks. They're trying to draw Aurora all the way in before things happen. NZ should spot out CacaNito, though, and does get the opening kill. So the man advantage is found. And you can see how destructive the pistols have been in this series so far by how cautiously Aurora are taking this. This is a full USP eco from the CT side, and they are diligently clearing every angle, using utility to make absolutely sure. And luckily for them, they've picked the right site, so the stack won't come into play. The bomb will go down, and the USPs likely will just look for exit frags here and see what damage they can find.
Yeah, I mean, get a couple exits hopefully as the hunt comes through. Really, though, Aurora don't necessarily need to be going for this. They don't have a lot to gain from it other than, I guess, some good feelings about their kills going up.
Vibes.
Yeah. Getting the zone after a really rough half, I suppose. It's Kenzie who's getting them all, though. Absolutely hunting down these ecos, looking for the ace at this point. Might have it for himself.
Wants it.
Yeah, but it's an eco. One of his teammates have to be trying to hunt to steal it. Ah, I'm like, no, you're not allowed this eco ace. Oh, he did. Yeah, I didn't even realize. I thought Kenzie got it. Okay, nice, Latin. Can't let him have such an easy time against the eco. He's already up there on 24 kills. Look, he's already in carry mode. Can't let him get all the eco frags as well. Spread some of the love, bro. 2 rounds to go, though. It's doable. Very, very doable. This is the main one that they need to win. That's exactly why they've gone ahead and called their last tactical pause here and now.
Big round. First time in a while Apeks have had full rifles. Expect to see something proactive somewhere on the map. That really has been the key to Apex's CT success, hasn't it? Pressing the issue, making sure it's as difficult as possible for Aurora just to settle into their T-side default. This is it, though. As you said, 2,900 loss bonus. This one goes south. It will be a half buy to protect the map. And if not, we'll need overtime. My first overtime of CS2, if required, to separate these two lineups. But it's going to be mid. It's going to be a brawl. HE set up to pop the smoke. Flashes, mollies. They're looking to press the issue, but Aurora are nowhere to be seen. They've learned from their mistakes. They're passive in the initial moments. As instead, it's a 4-man hit towards B being lined up here. And there is a lot of CT presence available to help with this. Sense in towards ladder is not far away from the rotation. Kyxsan on short. It's going to be CacaNito on an off angle, top of the bins, to get a lot of the heavy lifting done here. Flashbang goes out, forces him to change his position. Molotov licks at his feet, and nawwk gets a quick double kill. CacaNito all too easily dealt with. kyxsan can't say anything out towards short. And at this point, I think Apeks are realizing a 4v3 retake onto that B site is just not viable on Mirage, so we will back away. Save the 3 rifles, gives themselves a fighting chance of taking this one in regulation.
Yeah, I mean, this really was the only way to go about it. Otherwise, as you said, they would have been almost certainly conceding to the overtime. I don't think I've had an overtime yet either. So yeah, looking forward if this does happen to our first overtime. Basically just an old normal length CS game. Kenzie might have a chance to take one of these weapons away. No, doesn't quite expect the player up on top of the bin. Norvi actually goes down to the bomb as well. So some of these weapons for Aurora are being lost. It won't matter, of course, moving into the final round. They desperately just wanted to even take one more gun if they could, but it's not allowed. Apeks, as they needed to, do hang on to all of the weapons, which lets them drop over what they need and come into this final round with a really good investment. So they've got their chance again to try and put an end to it, but this is it. It's here and now, or else they're going to be into the overtime, where at the very least, sure, money wouldn't be a problem anymore, but Aurora right now are on a roll, it seems.
They found their feet.
Hey, just got to look down.
Happy to play passive in the opening moments, allowing Apeks to play that proactivity and then falling back into the default seems to be the way at the moment for Aurora. Apeks have to respect it after a while. They can't keep pushing all day long. 3 over towards the A site. Heavy stack to start things off, trusting the jump peak of Sense out on B. As kenzie just trying to apply a little bit of pressure from the underpass. He's got some good tick damage onto nawwk. The spray not quite finding its mark though, and nawwk wants this. He's pressing. nawwk reads it. Man advantage found. And a crunch into this A site, feeling ever more a viable option. Celta deals with kyxsan under dark, and now it is all on Jacob. He's trying to play the trigger discipline, but kenzie has phased the smoke. CacaNito whiffs his spray, nearly gets the kill onto nawwk, but it's not quite enough, and they've got to give this one a go, but it's a 2-on-5. Sense has been over on B this whole time, and as he looks to exit the murder hole, kenzie is there to read him, and CacaNito, he's been tagged up inside of this smoke. He won't even need it to be blown. kenzie gets the kill, and we are going to need overtime. It remains a close-fought affair between these two lineups. 12 all. As you said, money no longer an issue. Can Aurora keep this flow is the question.
Yeah, 12,500 looks to be the lucky number for the economy here into the overtime, which should be fine as long as you're not absolutely splurging on ops. So yeah, I was going to say not even looking to go for one knock at yet to buy. He will eventually pull one out on the CT side. nawwk getting one, as we've seen as well. He's been fairly quiet though. Hasn't had the most impact on that AWP, rather. It's been the rifles. It's been kenzie especially with 27 kills, who have been putting in an absolutely monstrous performance. This aggression into Palace, the time, and just as Celta turned away. I'm not sure if he was maybe expecting a flash or something at that moment. Turned his head. At least the trade is there from kenzie, but that gives an early indication as to what's going on here. As you can see with the A execute coming through, the rotates though are delayed. The smokes and mollies force the CT is back, and well, despite some utility coming through and doing some damage, Aurora are going to get access to the bomb site.
Good tick damage if nothing else. They've started to thin the numbers. nawwk and kenzie both walking wounded as that bomb goes down. Spam damage onto nawwk as well is decent, and look at the flank. Sense on a long one here. nawwk has dealt with the first. And now they wait. They know Sense is the key now if they want to have a chance at unlocking this, but he's been red and the timing is everything. He gets the better of it. 3-on-3. 2 players nestled into the ramp. nawwk really in no man's land out towards jungle, but it's nawwk again. That AWP finally coming good in the afterplants. nawwk knows he's just got to play time, just got to wait patiently, but he looks to swing and he gives CacaNito half an opening. The bomb too far gone. And they will be forced to back away. It's Aurora with the first of the overtime rounds. Their streak continues.
Yeah, Apeks, what has happened? I mean, CacaNito has definitely cooled off at a time when kenzie just came alive. I think CacaNito had 21 kills when the comeback for Aurora was only just really beginning. So at that point, it's like, what? 5-6 rounds ago, he has been very quiet. As we said, though, the economy at least isn't an issue here, as they can get the buy-in once again, but it's now or never for Apeks. What has gone wrong? That's what they've got to be asking themselves.
What's the counter? Right.
They were fairly aggressive in the initial rounds at that CT side when we seen them find success around mid and going for the A aggression as well. I mean, they tried something similar in that previous round with one player just charging in towards Palace, but it wasn't the solo plays that they found success with. So maybe the counter mid aggression once again.
Yeah. Feels like they need something like that to destabilize Aurora again, right? They're being allowed to settle into their defaults too easily. nawwk on the AWP. Posted up in towards mid this time, and well, it's a very similar look this for Aurora. T-side smoke goes awry, however, hits the top of the archway towards ramp, and that might reset things. Here's the cheekiness. Boosted up, CacaNito on the bricks. And Aurora actually seeming a little confused about how they want to play this one. Initially, they set up for an A hit. Smoke went awry. They cancelled that. Now they're aware that mid-presence could have come through. So nawwk's looking to clear that angle. Celta is holding for any B play. And everyone just holds. Nobody wants to be the player to take the risk, to make the mistake, to push too far. Now with just a solitary smoke over mid, it's going to be Aurora just trying to cheat their way out. Molly goes under Palace. Molly towards the ramp. The swing comes in and the trades are good. Norway sacrifices himself, gets Jacob and trusts that nawwk, who's found a second lease at life on that AWP, will find his man. nawwk, however, manages to deal with the lurking Celta out towards B. Kenzie immediately looks to put the scales back in the T-side's favour, though. And with the smoke being popped, Lackey, if he'd been planting the other side, would have been in trouble. Instead, it's CacaNito looking to press, and right into the stack he goes. nawwk, last man alive, toying with the smokes. Kenzie on a 30 bomb. Once it popped, pops to perfection. It's 14 for Aurora, and they are flying in overtime.
Not looking back at all. Kenzie's already broke the 30 bomb as well. I mean, he's just been ridiculous here. He's been the driving force behind this comeback. Everyone else is doing okay, yeah, but really that's all we're getting from them. We're getting good enough from everyone else, with Kenzie just absolutely popping off. They are playing around them, in fairness. They're playing to their strengths right now, as Apeks desperately want at least one round out of this CT side. Aurora on track for the flawless T side in this overtime. I don't think Apeks would be in a prime position to make a comeback happen at that point with how down and out they've just felt. Kenzie pushing up through that connector smoke. The rest go up short, and Kenzie looks to try and maybe cut off this rotation, but his teammates will need to find success on their own first. So let's see if it works out. Sense gets the double, sprays them down. He's had a slow game. This is a big time, though, for him to step up, as he gives them some hope. This B bomb site, Jacob just about rotates in time. Celter delayed in the apartments, actually. I was gonna say, kind of costs them a small bit. They had the chance to get onto the bomb site, but they just left it slightly too long. And while Kenzie eventually gets caught in on mid as well, that's going to be a 14-13 half. It's still a very strong performance from Aurora, but Apeks are at least able to salvage one round.
They get something out of it, right? Keeps it in contention. As Aurora head to a CT side they've not played in a while, don't forget. This one definitely feeling like it could still swing back. Question is, can Apeks click into that T side immediately? It was a very back and forth affair in the first half, if you can cast your mind all that way back of Mirage. Up in the hands of nawwk, who started to warm to it. Lackey actually picks up the secondary. They're going hell for leather here, Aurora. They want everything. Lackey wants to press the issue. He's caught off guard, though. Does well to get away. Wanted to press into middle. Instead, he's forced back, and that actually leaves a very isolated nawwk on that primary AWP, out towards the B site on his own. Feeling the pressure, he's going to play close to the apartments here in the hopes of catching a timing, because he's not getting any support anytime soon. And look at what Apeks are setting up. nawwk is alone on an island out on B. And Apeks looked like they were setting up to hit it. They may have just second-guessed themselves here, but a missed shot from nawwk might draw them back in. Molly goes down. Screaming for support, but the bomb is yet to commit as nawwk manages to find himself a second angle, and the rotations finally start to come through. Norway close to the ramp, flashed beautifully, will be a freebie for Sense, and now this is starting to fall apart for Aurora instead. Apeks, they're starting to find their feet. The bomb still wants B. And nawwk is still alone. They're going to hit out onto the A site through Sense. This is all a ruse, all a fake. Everyone else is ready and waiting. Sense gets another, and that draws nawwk away. He hears the nades and comes back, but it's going to be surely too little too late. The flick can't connect. The round is gone. And Celta and Lackey, well, they invested double AWPs, and at 12.5k, you have to consider the save. Apeks are back and kicking.
Yeah, definitely seeming a little bit more at home on this T side right now. Aurora forced into the save. 14-14, we're going to be tied up. I mean, we had a neck and neck throughout the first map as well. We had what looked like it was going to be a finish for Apeks at one point before Aurora again brought it back neck and neck, and now Apeks are looking to do the same. So it has been the competitive game we were expecting. But it's one of those performances where it feels like a team has finally hit their stride and battled through the rounds that were going to be difficult. Only for out of nowhere for, again, their opponent to wake up, in this case of being Apeks, who've come alive in these last couple of rounds. Both of these
This one
teams
could well decide it.
Yeah, both of them need the remaining 2 though if they want to get it done. Otherwise, we could even be looking at another overtime.
I think the momentum swings here. Aurora need to respond after such a promising late T side and early overtime. Their CT side has to click. It's Kenzie to try and press the issue towards the underpass, but nobody's going to be home. Game of timings now. There's an Apeks set up for a faster A play. Latik needs to hit this shot. This is crucial, and he's flashed off it. Jacob takes full advantage. Free. As now the second man desperately isolated, doing all he can. And Celta, how has he got away with that too? And he buys time for the rotations perfectly. Lackey, with support on the kill towards top mid, leaves nawwk in a 1v3. He has got bomb this time. And maybe that'll tempt him into giving this one a go. A huge nade connects, though, from Kenzie. Definitely feels like those have started to hit more accurately in this edition. As nawwk switches it up to the tech. Slows it down. Aggression through Palace from Lackey. Starting to just slowly take the map away from this T-side AWPer. Through the underpass goes Kenzie. He starts to take control deep inside of the B apartments. nawwk could have the possibility to clear this. That drive by Tech9, a very powerful pistol. It's a little ugly, but Kenzie gets the better of it. AWP to be saved if he wants it. Doesn't look like he wants to make that call, though. 15 on the board for Aurora. They will have their shot at glory here. Or will it be double overtime? Will this game keep on giving, Dean?
I mean, it's very possible. I don't know. The individuals just seem to be a bit more consistent right now on the Aurora side of things. CacaNito and him and nawwk really need to be stepping up here again if they want to try and take this round and send it to a second OT, but it's going to be a little bit debilitating every time. Previously, they had the chance to close it out. They crawled their way back to 40 and all there as well, only to again now have at best another overtime ahead of them. So let's see. That nade should do a bit of damage. A little bit later by a second, and I think it would have done even more, but either way, still getting away with a lot on both kyxsan and CacaNito, 2 very crucial players for that T side.
Huge amount of chip damage found. Exactly what the doctor ordered for this CT side. They're looking for the A split. The ramp push starting to come through. Celta warned off his first angle. Good HE damage found. Celta dealt with by Jacob. Lackey does get the response in towards mid, but there's more where that came from. Still, CacaNito lurks. Tagged down. Lackey's aware of the possibility, but there is so many timings in play now as the bomb wants to make its way out onto A. Kenzie wants to press this issue, but nawwk and CacaNito are up for the task. 2 quick kills that should surely mean double OT. Indeed they do. Jacob and Sense combine. It's 15 all and we go again.
Yeah, more overtimes. Let's do it. I mean, I really, predictions-wise, I just have no idea at this point.
I feel that. It's been carnage.
Yeah, they've taken turns just having their best players pop off. Kenzie, again, still having a ridiculous performance. He's been above 30 for a little while now, I think, in fairness. But he's also started getting a bit of help from Lackey and Celta, who are playing pretty decent as well. Norvy's having a bit of a quieter game in general. Latik also, but they haven't been terrible. No one has by any means. Sense has had a much stronger performance than he had back on Overpass as well, which has been crucial for Apeks.
I mean, even that last round there, a couple of timings go differently. You know, Lackey gets the drop on CacaNito. It's a different picture. Aurora feel like they are right in this. Scrapping on Apex's map pick in double OT. Question is, can they find their feet again? Can they keep this CT side under control? Attic on that AWP. It's a tough weapon to wield in CS2. It's not been too favourable to him. And Apeks are going for it again. Almost straight off the rip here. They're going for the A play. Double flashes over the top. Latik wants to play this AWP up close and personal, and he is going to get some presents. Jacob, the shadow's there, mate. Latik knows, but if he overextends, there's a man on the high ground ready and waiting to take the shot. And how long dare that AWPer stay on the angle? Nice shot from Latik. Gets one. Needs to back away now and does. Picks a slightly harder angle to hold though, and now he's inside his own smoke. Selta doing what he can to bail his AWP out and finds a huge triple kill. kyxsan gets the AWP, but it's all in vain. You said Selta was stepping up, and what a way to pop off, protecting his AWP's life for all it's worth. nawwk left. Salvaging the pieces. We'll get one early. Another 1v3 to contend with. There's only 2 inside of the A site itself. Norway's still holding for a flank that surely can't come because the bomb is committed out the ramp. Aurora, though, fully aware of the threat that nawwk presents. Playing this one very cautiously. Selta stays posted in Palace. nawwk stays posted behind triple, and with 30 seconds left on the clock, nawwk, he's got some decisions to make. He wants B, and Norway has just spotted him on the jump. Oh, it nearly got sketchy there. You could see nawwk heard the jump and looked for the spin. But Norway gets the better of his man, saves the AWP. It's Aurora who strike first in OT2.
Yeah, they done the same back in the previous overtime, though, I believe. Managed to salvage out the couple rounds initially, and then Apeks turned it around and still brought us to another overtime. So I don't think Apeks are going to be thinking of themselves as down and out yet by any means. They know that they have it in them to fight back in once again. And who knows, maybe they can avoid getting obliterated in the entire half as they did before. They can take 2 rounds, that would be fantastic. Let's see, in for the mid control, Lackey can't really do a lot about it. He's just going to go in towards the ladder for the moment. I think they're going for the ramp aggression. Yeah, they are in the meantime to try and at least get some control of the map to work with. Forced back from short there as well. It's the ladder room player in the form of Lackey now that they're hoping we'll be able to catch one off guard, but no! Jacob checks it, despite the presence of Kenzie that was around the pillars here on short, rather. They do still expect the player to potentially be in towards that ladder. Perfect read. CacaNito in the meantime also catches that player on the A-bomb site, and this is just falling apart. Selters alone, this time needing an absolute miracle if they want to make this work.
His positioning is good. It's a question of how he reads it. He's got to be very careful. He's holding a lot of angles at once. He'll hear these footsteps. He needs multiple kills. He needs to line them up, and it's a one and done. Not quite enough from Selta, I don't think. Kenzie trying to change the picture. Deals with CacaNito. There's a long old flank coming in here from Jacob. Looking to work the issue from B. Does leave a 2-on-2 inside of this site, though, and, well, Aurora, they're not looking to hang around either. Through the smoke, there's a freebie. Jacob's flank, though, does deal with the support, and now Norway is stuck, completely isolated. Somehow spins and gets kyxsan. Buys the 1v1. Jacob, 20 seconds, steps heard. He fakes the bomb plant once. Fakes it again. Norway doesn't bite. 13 seconds. Jacob at some point is going to have to dial it in. Norway knows it, looks for the spam, can't quite connect it. HE goes in. Norway's tagged down to 35. Jacob knows he's got the health advantage here, and he's got the spray down as well. It goes down to the last man, but we're 16 all, and the T side does start kicking for Apeks.
So close. Jacob just about saving the day. RV, I'm not sure how he got that second kill on the player coming out from behind the back box. To be honest, it looked like they had the drop on him, but no, somehow made it work and gave himself at least a chance in the 1v1 despite it not working out in the end. Tied back up at 16 now. Aurora actually going in for the double op setup here. Kenzie dropping in towards under, backed up by the op of Latik, and well, there is going to be quite a bit of presence around mid already for Apeks. 3 of them at the top of mid. No one under though, so I was going to say that push could be fruitful if he was to go fully through with it. Was just hanging back until now when he's finally going to push in, but that's as the op is finally playing around this area. Again, though, the timing works in his favor. Yeah, just about catches as nawwk begins to fall away. So this will confirm there's nothing going on over at B. They'll be able to rotate and stack back towards that A-bomb site. And of course, Kenzie's flank could be big as CacaNito comes back through, gets caught off guard. It'll give the early warning to the rest of the team at the very least, but a man advantage and so much map control for Aurora has been taken.
Really well placed now to deal with this round and take the lead, headed into the second half of OT2. Lackey dancing with death, gets the information, but Apeks can thread the needle here. Short is an option. And I think they're starting to realise that. Bomb is on short, looking to make its way up, and, well, Kenzie, I think, has also realised that's where the hole is, as kyxsan starts to clear the underpass. And they look to make this B split a reality. Still 3 CTs out towards the A site, and it's all on the timing of these reads. Lackey posts up. Kenzie covers the murder hole. There's the flashbang. It's not quite right, but Lackey can't hit his shot either, and now they're going to charge the AWP down. They know it. Charging out the window. Lackey good for the quickscope on the first. Spots the man out towards short and nails him. The secondary AWP looking like a primary as he hits all 3. And kyxsan, it looked perfect. The read was there, but it's just not to be. Latic gets in on the action, and it's a 2-round CT side for Aurora as they look to get it done in OT2.
Again, I mean, yeah, sure, they have the lead here coming into the second half of the OT, but we've seen that before, and we've seen Apeks turn it around. We've seen it happen the other way when it was in the regular play for Aurora to be the ones who were behind and had to pull it into the overtime. So you just can never count out either of these teams, clearly. 17-16. Getting some old regular length games, as we were saying. we're only getting into the previous OT territory now, really. These last couple of rounds. 17-16, okay.
It's going to be interesting, though.
Did their pauses get renewed for OT?
Yeah, they do.
Wasn't sure.
You think about how slowly Aurora started their T side, right? And then they finally got a bit of momentum, really started rolling. They've now not been T side for 6 rounds. That's a half now in MR12. Can they find that momentum, that form that got them across the line in regulation, that brought them to this OT, that bought them OT2? What's the response? Initial players towards mid. They're trying to set Latic up for a pick. Thus far, given nothing. nawwk wanders into the underpass and wanders into mid. 2 for free. Aurora running scared. Lackey finally able to put his man in the grave, but the man advantage is still there for Apeks. A little bit of magic from nawwk to start their CT side. Again, we talked about it, not letting Aurora settle. That's exactly what Apeks opt for. And with the man advantage found, they just reset. Pressure's on Aurora now to make the play. So fine, let's let them make it.
Yeah, slowing things down and inching back towards this A-bomb site. Kenzie's out of play as well, which is, of course, a big loss. Molly in towards the ramp. Looks like they're just going to go all Palace. Yeah.
That's brave.
Considering the positions of both of these A players, it might actually be exactly what they need.
I mean, Sense is hidden firebox, I believe. And there's a jump spot CT. That will be heard, but Sense still lies in wait.
Yeah.
It's a 2-2 split wherever they go. If they clear the angle properly, they can get in here. nawwk charges on out, gets something out of nothing. Had no business getting that kill. But he finds his mark onto Sense. He buys a 3-on-3. Bomb going down. kyxsan knows that he has to press the issue. Lackey's picking off rotations here. And kyxsan through the corner of the smoke gets one, doubles it, and it's all up for Apeks. A perfect retake. No problem at all. kyxsan taking full advantage of the edges of the smoke. 17 all. We go again, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I don't know how kyxsan gets that second kill. It looked like they had set it up well for the trade, had pretty much pinned in a triple, as you said, just inched out behind that CT smoke, managed to get in there and somehow pull off the double kill with that AUG. Great work. We're tied up again, 17-17. Neither of these teams are able to hang on to any sort of an advantage. Krieg for Kenzie. Interesting purchase. See how that plays out.
Really getting into the mind game segment now. And plenty of rounds for these two teams to scope each other out. What's the call? Lackey. The call is to dome Jacob instantly. Kenzie on the Krieg. Can't quite find the second. But the man advantage is there. And make it 2. nawwk catches nawwk in his proactivity towards the B apartments. 3-on-5. Aurora will be so aware of what this opportunity means to them now. This should be a clean conversion. Group and exec is all that's required. More utility goes out towards mid as the bomb will be recovered and Aurora will start to lay their foundations.
I mean, 5-on-3, you should be thinking this is Aurora heading up towards 18 to get a map point once again, but Apeks have managed to turn around a lot of these situations where things have looked incredibly dire, but they have taken the gamble to
Oh,
stack towards B, unfortunately, and with that kill actually coming in from Norvi, he sells the fake. He's given them full access to the A-bomb site. This is something we haven't been seeing a lot of from Aurora. They've been sticking together, trying to just trade things out, which normally is the way to go, but Apeks, he needed to try and pull them apart a little bit, pull that defense apart and leave some holes that they could exploit, and that's exactly what they done. Selter somehow naded himself there as he was jumping through the smoke. I think he right-handed it in, then jumped through onto the stairs and naded himself. That was just all around weird. But he acted as a pretty good distraction for his teammates to get the rest of it cleaned up. It's 18-70, and again, serious point for Aurora. But can they finally put an end to it? They've had so many chances to end this series 2-0.
Can they put it to bed? The buy is good for both sides, as OT always is. And well, they're going simple here, Aurora. Early A execute lineups. None of that messing about, none of that mid stuff. CT side want to press the issue towards the ramp. kyxsan holds a deep smoke here, which could really put this execute off. Util comes over the top, he'll smoke off the ramp, he'll smoke off an angle, and now the CTs have got a decision to make. Do you want to go? Or is it slow down and go again later? First batch of utility is repelled, and they haven't got any more smokes. They've got to go with this. They've got to commit, and they know it. Out of the palace, Selter with a quick entry onto kyxsan. Jacob now knows his position is absolutely mission critical as they start to charge on out. It's 1-for-1. nawwk through the top of the smoke deals with Kenzie, however, and that buys them a 3v3. Site control is theirs once more. Sense on a long flanking mission, but nawwk has started to smell a rat. Not enough. Sense gets bombed down, mollies it off, buys himself the cover. Smoke to follow up, and that's more time on the clock. It's going to be down to Selter and nawwk to pull this one back. nawwk's got to go get that bomb. Manages to do so. What is the play, though? There is no smoke, no util, nothing. It's all about these gunfights. Selter spotted, tagged, spammed, dealt with, and nawwk, he's had a tough old time on this AWP. It's a tough old weapon to wield in the new world. And he's stuck. Gets one. CacaNito goes down, but nawwk's no-scope will connect, and we go again. There is nothing to separate these teams. Triple OT coming up next.
Yeah, I think we're getting right into it. Not too sure. Looks like no pauses or anything are being called. Normally, after a while, you get like you get a pause. You get the boys wanting to take a moment, but no, they just want to keep this going while the momentum might finally start to shift towards one or the other. Apeks obviously recovering that final round there. They're hoping that they can continue on a positive note, but Aurora, I mean, I think they've kicked off both of the overtimes so far with the initial round, right? Am I wrong? I believe I was right. And they've also got the majority of pistols, so clearly they're good starters, not so great at finishing. Let's see. And up for nawwk, he found a bit of form in that previous round there. Can he find any early openings? It's very passive in general from Apeks. They're heavy towards mid so that they can try and counter that control, I guess, if it's needed, but at the moment there's only one player at top mid, the rest positioned outside of A.
I think hoping to draw something out of it. nawwk does well. Gets the early opening. Smoke goes down. kyxsan still remains posted. Secondary AWP. Looking to hold out on Palace. The primary over towards short. They've got a good setup here, but the AWP is obscured. The smoke blocks the vision. Sense jump peeking, but well, Aurora have read something here, and nawwk has read it too. Kenzie goes down. That'll be the bomb headed back. I think Kenzie thought he had a way out there. nawwk's trying to pile the pressure on through short, but nawwk has managed to thread the needle and find an escape route here. kyxsan can't quite land the shot, but nawwk has dealt with nawwk. Sense has bought himself a bit of space, and this one is falling apart. Aurora tripping over their own damn feet. Selter, last man up, nothing to do, and finally, Apeks register the first blow.
Yeah, fairly convincingly as well. I mean, it starts off back and forth into the 3-on-3, but then Apeks just shut it down, leaving Aurora finally on the back foot to kick off one of these halves. And well, we'll see whether Apeks can keep that up. They'll be looking for a smooth CT side here if they can get to 2, maybe 3 rounds so that they can make it flawless. try and put the nail in the coffin on this map. Because for Apeks, they still need to take it to a third map. They are not thinking about full victory right now. They're thinking about bringing this to a deciding map of the series. I like the aggression of Palace. Can you hear all of those fireworks? That is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Double push through Palace. What a call to make and what a round to make it in. We talked about Apeks not letting Aurora settle, and this is exactly that. Huge swathes of map control taken. They won't spot Celta out for now, but if they keep going round, they will. Interestingly, Aurora are looking to creep this through Con, so the timings are absolutely off the chain right now. CT side believe wholeheartedly that this A site should be clear, but oh my goodness, Jacob catches two of them. Back turned, that's disastrous, and Sense has got another for free here. This is a guaranteed Apeks round. Sense gets one. Latic does what he can to try and tip those scales back, but they're getting picked off left, right, and center here. Kenzie goes down to kyxsan. And Latic, nothing he can do. nawwk puts his man down. 2 on the trot for Apeks. They are ready for Ancient.
Yeah, starting to look like it at this point. Ancient's still a very, very good map for Aurora. Probably the best statistically for them out of the 3 that are in the pool right now. But the same actually can be said for Apeks. So I think we could see probably the... I know it's hard to say we're going to see the closest map of the 3 because clearly this one's been incredibly close. Overpass was pretty close as well up until it kind of got out of hand towards the end. So, I mean, it'll be harder to be more competitive than this, but I do think if we get to that third map, it is going to stay neck and neck throughout. Heavy Palace
play. Yeah. Early Palace play called. Aki just hoping to draw the eyeballs. Try and keep some kind of presence in towards mid to give this a split element. Kenzie continuing his pressure through the underpass. It's a nice idea. Timings on it are going to be absolutely critical though. Aggression down the ramp this time. kyxsan and nawwk. Not going to fully commit. Not as far as they did last round. They'll back away. Gives themselves something to defend in towards this A site. Jacob goes down for free. Lackey gets his first victim. And now this A site is under siege. Rotation's impossible. nawwk. Palace demolished. Latic with one more and that's job done. They'll give it a go. It's the last round of this first half of OT3. But realistically for Sense and CacaNito, this should be job done. Lackey gets his man. CacaNito is a long way away out top mid, so Aurora won't go fully quietly. They will find one on their T side as Kenzie puts the final nail in it. It's going to need a big CT side from them, though, to pull this one back once more.
Again, I don't want to count them out. They've done it in regulation. There's certainly the opportunity that they could do it here with a lot less rounds between the two of them. There's only one in the difference, rather. Apeks, if they can get up to 21 at the very least, can confirm the comfort of knowing that there'd be another overtime ahead of them, but Aurora do not want to let that happen. They need a flawless CT side right now. A lucky number being 22. Soon enough we'll get into the territory where we'll be nearly double the normal rounds of the games now, if this keeps on going.
We're getting there.
Slower on that mid take from Apeks. I think they're expecting Aurora to do something just because they kind of have to, knowing how crucial the round is.
Very measured. Waiting out this first batch of CT util as well, starting to bleed players dry. Celta with nothing. Norby with only a flashbang. And the T side still with util, still with options, lining up for that mid take. Matic. Con posted, waiting. Hot flash comes out. He dodges the first, but he misses his shot, and now he's in trouble. Needs support. Lackey there to provide it. Nice spray down from the man on short. Bails his AWP out of dodge for now, but he is desperately low, Lackey. Knows he has to stay alive to keep his team in this one. Kenzie, top of the smoke, finds another, but now he's isolated as well, and this one is getting very scrappy. 2 remaining mid players. They know how critical a pick could be. They know they want it. But where will it present itself? nawwk switches to the tech in the hope to take a fight up close and personal, and they're going to double it back to B, where Lackey is on 3 HP. Any kind of util in towards that van would deal with him. And then Norway would be left alone. He's got to hold short for now. CacaNito starts to creep it up. Timing is everything. Lackey low HP gets another, and that surely should be it. He dinks up his next man as well. Now nawwk is in a position to rotate and help his man out. Nothing nawwk can do. The clock is just too damn low. He'll get one. He'll get a second, but it's all consolation kills. And well, Apeks is having none of it. Through the wall, he finds his man. Aurora start the CT side the way they have to go on.
A wall bang to finish that one out as well. Crazy from nawwk.
You love to see it.
Kenzie on 39 kills. Lackey's joined the 30 bomb club. CacaNito and nawwk over on that T side. Selter just off of it as well. I mean, got a few players on either side here that are having tremendous performances. It does seem a bit more kind of spread across the board, you've got to say, for Apeks. Just slightly, by a massive amount. It does seem like it's slightly more a team effort. Oh, a player already charging up short. Are they aware of this? I think nawwk would have heard the steps, right? Either way, Jacob gets himself in the ladder room and could be a big nuisance. They don't seem certain of it at all. Surely they know it's a possibility, though.
They should know it's possible. The question is, how much weight do you put on that possibility? For now, at least, the CT side have gone heavy towards this A site, and Jacob does get his reward. Norway goes down on the rotation. Man advantage found, and you can see the response from the CT side. They want to press. Flashbang is good. Sense goes down for free. There's the response. Nicely worked by Aurora. Finding a solution to the problem. Buys them a 4-on-4. They've got to be careful, though. Apeks now watching for any more. Selter, well, he's toying with the idea of pushing the issue. Not going to happen. That bomb's still deep. Jacob still hoping to catch a rotation, but nothing given so far as Lackey actually pushes into the B apartments to try and get a read on the situation. It's still 3 CT players over on this A site. Latic posted CT, misses his first shot, punished for it, spammed down. Now he's in trouble. Molotov comes over the top. Kenzie does deal with Jacob, though. That's the flanking element gone. CacaNito brought down low in towards Palace, desperately low. And Selter is still alive and kicking in towards the sandwich. Gets one, a second as Kenzie is there to back his man up. And Aurora are looking to do it again, Dean.
I mean, I want to believe, but I can't with what we've been seeing. Apeks, they've got another overtime. I believe it. They've got another overtime in them because they just keep on doing it somehow. I mean, even just there, that Selter should have been dead in sandwich. There's ridiculous things going on both teams. Just
it's got to that stage, hasn't it?
Yeah, you're just like, what the hell? Everyone's burned out.
What's the call? What is the magic call if you're Apeks here?
Oh, big gap in that smoke.
Oh, but Latic can't hit it. He's had a tough time on that AWP. Magic call is fast towards B. That's exactly what the doctor ordered, but Norway's good for one. Again, a missed AWP shot. This time it's Lackey, and Norway is desperately isolated. They're catching the rotations. CacaNito and kyxsan doing a lot of work. Norway just trying to stay alive, just trying to buy time. The smoke works out for him. He gets another onto nawwk, and now he looks to disappear, looks to fade away, will be punished. CacaNito needs to be a hero, and he can't. 1v2 for Sense. The youngsters had a quiet old day at the job. Needs a big round, and that molly hit him. Did they hear the sound cue? Sense through the smoke gets one. Selter versus Sense. And Sense has disappeared, but Selter's got the better of him. Finally, Aurora get it. It takes 3 OTs, but 22-20. They get the job done. They get their revenge on Apeks, and they get themselves the 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy, constant back and forth, and what an entertaining series to just watch in general.